Ladies and gentlemen, this is Dolynny TV. We got another trade. Holy goodness, we're ripping videos like no tomorrow right now, and this is getting absolutely nuts. Ladies and gentlemen, Tyler Ennis. Let me get to this. I can't even find my mouse on the TV. All right, computer, whatever it is. Tyler Ennis has been traded to the Edmonton Oilers for a 5th-round pick. Bob McKenzie breaking it down on my TV as we speak, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, I should correct that. That is Troy's TV that we're watching on because, trust me, I would not know for another 30 seconds if I was watching on my laptop right now. Ladies and gentlemen, Tyler Ennis to the Edmonton Oilers for a 5th-round pick in 2021. Talk about a cheap pickup for a guy with 33 points this season. So, ladies and gentlemen, Tyler Ennis joins Andres Athanasiou with the Oilers. Now, if you want to talk about Zach Kassian still being out of the lineup, I'm going to talk about him up for a few seconds here. If you want to talk about Zach Kassian being out of the lineup still, and you talk about acquiring Athanasiou, and of course, if you can get Ennis on a shuttle across the United States to Anaheim tomorrow, you've gone and totally renovated your first line. I know that sounds crazy, but you've renovated your entire first line in the matter of a couple of days, right? Connor McDavid comes back, then you get Athanasiou earlier today, and now you get Tyler Ennis. And ladies and gentlemen, we're talking the Oilers are in it to win it at this point, or I don't know what else you would call it. The Oilers are here to do some damage, here to make some noise the rest of the way home. And for a guy that was very anti-trade, now all of a sudden I'm getting pretty uppity about trades going on with the Oilers. Troy's killing himself about it because he was like, oh man, yeah, you guys got to make some trades. And here I am now yelling about 3 trades in less than 24 hours. Tyler Ennis to the Edmonton Oilers. And let me tell you, if I'm not just a little bit mind-blowing, let me get some stats here for you. As a 5th-round pick, going back the other way, where was it? Why didn't I not keep that up? I should have kept that up for you. Let me keep that up. At least you can read that a million times over and celebrate that for a second. As Tyler Ennis, where are his stats? Tyler Ennis stats right there. Let me get that going. Tyler Ennis stats, bing, bang, boom, and the other thing. And we got to get this going here. And those stats are way too massive still, so give me a second. Real-time reaction is absolutely nuts. I don't know how to cover the deadline. I should be sitting here live streaming it, but that said, Tyler Ennis in his career has 309 points in 604 games, so technically speaking, for a guy that's really struggled up until this year, right, he has 33 points in 61 games this year. Past couple of years, he's had 11 points, 13 points, 22 points, 18 points, now 33 points. He's only a -5 on the Ottawa Senators. The thing we need to keep in mind with Tyler Ennis is this is not a solution on the top line like Athanasiou is for McDavid. This is a depth piece that fits that third line, right? Think about Sheehan, Archibald. Oh, man. Joakim Nygard might be out until playoffs, might be out until mid-March, might be out till late March. Who really knows? I'm not paying too much attention to that because he's apparently getting his pins out in a few days. So you just don't know until he gets back on the ice. That said, this guy, Tyler Ennis, plays 14 minutes and 42 seconds time on ice per game this season. That is, compared to those early years in Buffalo when he was playing a lot, getting 40 points a season, that is the most ice time he's seen in a lot of years. Right, last year with Toronto, he was averaging less than 10 minutes ice time per game on that or on that team. So Mike Green, Kyle Brodziak out, and a conditional 4th-round pick. So talk about things being crazy. Ken Holland goes in about 2 weeks ago and says, we're not trading any picks at the deadline because we got to value our picks. Well, suddenly now he's moved 2 seconds in the trade for Athanasiou and Sam Gagner. He's now moved a 5th-round pick in 2021 for Mr. Tyler Ennis. And, of course, he moved a conditional 4th or a 3rd in 2021 for, simply put, Mr. Mike Green. And I know, like, Troy's saving me over here. He had the deadly news on the trade news for that. So here you go. Pierre LeBrun all about getting the news there for Mr. Tyler Ennis. Both Ennis and Athanasiou plus Mike Green. So everybody, literally everybody we talked about in the live stream last night, right? There's a reason we did that live stream last night. It was so important to get it up, get it in real time. Well, ladies and gentlemen, in real time, we now have Mike Green, Tyler Ennis, and Andres Athanasiou added to this team. And anybody out there in Oilers land that was sitting here talking, oh my goodness, we have to reward this Oilers team for working so hard to be a playoff team this year. Let's get those pieces that'll finish us off and get going. Well, ladies and gentlemen, suddenly we have Athanasiou for the top line. I don't know where James Neal fits into this team. Tyler Ennis is center, so, I mean, actually, hold on. I got to check his face-offs. He's only taken a total of 6 face-offs won this year, 8 face-offs lost this year, so he hasn't seen a lot of face-off time. He was career-wise a 40.6 face-off man. I mean, that's pretty much as terrible as Gaetan Oss, so I see him fitting solidly as a left wing on the line with Sheehan and Archibald. And ladies and gentlemen, I can't complain about that at all. Tyler Ennis, small. He can get good spaces quick. He's a total of 161 pounds, but at 33 points, 61 games played, we give up a 5th round pick, so there's no way you can physically say we got smaller, considering we got Athanasiou for Sam Gagner. The Oilers don't realistically get any smaller by acquiring a guy like Tyler Ennis, all things being equal, and that is absolutely fantastic. As right now, we're still awaiting Sammy Vatanen and Tyson Barrie to be traded. Those are the next biggest names on the board. Carolina's 1st round pick is somewhere, but Andres Athanasiou, who is number 7, is now with the Edmonton Oilers. Tyler Ennis as well with the Edmonton Oilers. So let's go back to Tyler Ennis's career stats here for a minute. Let's just kind of review what we've got. Started out back in 2009-2010 with the Buffalo Sabres, 9 points in 10 games. Then came up, had 49 points in 82 games. Really shook the NHL up in the lockout, or is that not the lockout year? The lockout year is the year after, but back-to-back years playing just about 40-50 games and 34-31 points. Then had another rocket year of 43 points in 80 games. That's kind of a letdown comparatively, but still 43 points, nothing to sneeze at on the Buffalo Sabres back then. 46 points in 78 games in 2014-15. 15-16, he only had 11 points in 23 games, and then the drop-off started happening for Ennis the past few years. 16-17, 13 points in 51 games, and then 22 and 73 with the Minnesota Wild. That was his first year away from Buffalo. Then with Toronto last season, 18 points in 51 games played, and then 33 points so far in 61 games played with the Ottawa Senators this season. So guys, again, for a 5th round pick in 2021, I got absolutely no issue with that. That is a fantastic pickup for the Edmonton Oilers, and I think Jason Gregor's going to sum it up best. Troy, you got to check out this tweet. Jason Gregor summing up the Oilers trade deadline day pretty good here. Yeah, she's a little overwhelming to say that a little bit, ladies and gentlemen, how this trade deadline day has gone, especially the fact that, you know, I talked about in the Athanasiou video that I'll rip up here after this Ennis video comes out, but simple fact is, you know, half the time when there's smoke, there's actually fire, and the other half, it's just smoke nonsense out in the universe. And with this Tyler Ennis news, this Andres Athanasiou news, and this Mike Green news, all of that smoke became fire, and now it's going to fire up the Edmonton Oilers for a long playoff haul, right? Think you got Mike Green. If he plays all the games, he's a solid 3rd pairing defenseman that will elevate this Oilers team in more ways than just playing on the 3rd pair defense. Veteran presence, obviously, number 1. Power play quarterbacking on the 2nd unit, number 2. And think about this. With Tyler Ennis being added to this Oilers team, that adds a complete 2nd unit we never had before, right? Think about Tyler Ennis and compared to Sam Gagner. Woo! My goodness, is that a lot of damage you can do on that power play, let me tell you. So Tyler Ennis added. Mike Green adds an element. Andres Athanasiou, more speed, more skill, more scoring. And ladies and gentlemen, this Oilers team coming together at the exact perfect time. I'm not letting you go because I just don't want to let anything go. But ladies and gentlemen, absolutely nuts to think what Ken Holland has done in his first trade deadline with the Edmonton Oilers. Think about this. If it is Chris Russell on the LTIR, I think that's confirmed at this point. Simply put, you can activate him at the end of the season, right? Not like we're missing him right now with what Caleb Jones and William Legason have been doing the past few games. Activate him end of the season, get him back in the lineup, no salary cap in the playoffs. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got ourselves a potential of 8 defensemen that can solidly handle, hopefully, playoff hockey. I don't know if I'm going to start yelling that about Mr. William Legason quite yet, but hey, you know what? He's proven capable at the NHL level. We're going to see. But right now, the key is we've added 2 scoring threats up front, right? Tyler Ennis, you saw the stats there. He has a total of 14 goals this year on a line with Sheehan and Archibald. Dandy, that adds that up there a lot more. And SSU flying to Anaheim later tonight. Both he and Green expected to be available for tomorrow's game versus the Anaheim Ducks. Troy's over here taking the bows, knowing what's going on. He knows what's up, guys. I'm going to get back to Trade Center, guys. This is Tyson. I'm Dolynny TV. Subscribe for more Oilers content. I am up on out of here.